Hello everybody, welcome back to Fuga Melodies of Steel 2. This is a bit of a little bonus episode like I did for Fuga 1. Just going to go through the New Game Plus files, read all those off just to get that bit of extra lore in there. Let's go ahead and check those out. Start with Crusade Report 1. Crusade is an organization formed to free humanity from its dependence on the higher dimensional information entities known as Juno in order to prevent the collapse of society as a whole. It views the domination by Juno-produced weapons, the Titana Machina, as a clear and present threat, and works to research and develops methods of resistance to them. Though its efforts focus on counteracting Juno, the organization is not against the use of technology with Juno origins. It utilizes that which it can and works proactively to find ways in which to recreate and replace said technology with human engineering. Crusade's goal is to close the tech gap between nations which possess Juno and those which do not. One day, an engineer, a woman who was quite frankly a true genius, joined Crusade. While most of humanity had come to accept that they could not comprehend the advanced data provided by Juno, but accepted its use as a tool to bring new advancements into their lives, this woman was different. She not only understood the data it provided, but possessed phenomenal skill in coordinating the conversion of it using available technology or that which could soon be developed. She even managed to recreate technology much like the AI-like avatars Juno utilized in order to communicate with humanity. Creating an avatar in her own image, she named this new AI Jean. The world was overrun with the Titana Machina, massive weapons of war produced by Juno. Power lay firmly in the hands of nations with the Titana Machina of their own, and those without Juno were left to either ally with such nations or pray that they might be spared. The battlefields the Titana Machina were deployed to were like hell on earth. Lands were laid to waste and doomed to never see restoration again. In response to this, a plan was devised to develop a weapon which could destroy the Titana Machina and revitalize the dying planet. And thus two machines were born, the Tyrannus to destroy the Titana Machina, and the Belenos to bring life back to the Earth. Like the Tyrannus, the Belenos was designed to be operated by particular pilots. These pilots were to be pseudo-hybrids, based on the hybrids, androids created to operate the Titana Machina. Though they looked like young teenage boys and girls, their information processing and physical capabilities were far greater than that of any human. They needed to be, in order to control such massive influxes of information and overcome the extreme tests they were forced through. Crusade's genius engineer was an irreplaceable part of the team tasked with creating these children, and she was eventually made leader of the entire operation. As chief lead of the team, the woman followed Crusade's orders and created countless pseudo-hybrids. Many of these creations were taken out of service when control of the Belenos proved difficult during testing, but even as chief of the team, the woman seemingly was not initially made aware of this fact. Once she found out this terrible truth, however, she joined the team and began making adjustments to the Belenos as well, using feedback gained from their efforts to redesign her pseudo-hybrid children. At first, the pseudo-hybrids did not express much in the way of emotion. Their reactions to stimuli were limited at most. However, the newly designed children were nearly indistinguishable from actual human youth. Where before they were identified only by model number, the woman called them each by name now, and did her utmost to engage them in conversation. These new children had a normal range of emotions. They would laugh, grow angry, and even cry. And it was with this diverse new range of emotional understanding that they were able to fine-tune the Belenos. One day, one such child was born, a pseudo-hybrid who was named Jill. I sincerely believe in Crusade's mission to bring equality to a world which has been stratified by Juno, but I can no longer endure the number of children sacrificed in the development of the Belenos. I have secretly altered the priority criteria of the defense AI in Alter. Normally, the defenses would protect this facility from any outside threats, but now whenever the Belenos and the children piloting it are present, it should switch priority to keeping them safe. This may result in the system working against Crusade by my own hand, but I am ready to accept such a fate. I will do whatever it takes. Jill, of all my children, you kept me busiest. You had such an ego, always troubling us with your selfish demands. But perhaps all this explains why you so deftly took control of the Belenos. Your curiosity fostered within you a desire to see the world outside these walls. And as I watched, I wanted nothing more than for the Belenos to become the feet by which you traveled, the wings on which you flew as you took to the whole wide world. We began practical testing on the Belenos. Our results, however, were far from promising. The recreation of nanometal proved no issue, but we were left with nothing but problems when attempting to recreate life forms. Perhaps we are seeing now that none but God can restore life to where it was once lost. But if we succeed in doing so, we will finally have surpassed Juno technology. Despite countless attempts, we have yet to fully restore any living organism. At best, we have created nothing more than zombies. Mobile, but absent of life or will. Such results are far from what we have set out to accomplish. Per the results of our final field tests, further development on the Belenos has been called off indefinitely. The machine proved incapable of providing the results we required. All the children sacrificed in our quest for progress were for naught. The only saving grace is knowing that Jill, who suffered through so much in our tests, will need to suffer no more. I received word that Jill would be deployed to the Tyrannus. They're planning to use him as energy for the Soul Cannon. The Soul Cannon requires a sacrifice to be fired, but a pseudo-hybrid like Jill can power it without any loss of life, they tell me. But I ask this, did it truly not know he will instead be forced to live through pain equivalent to such instead? Jill smiled no longer when he returned from the battlefield. Who could? He had been forced to endure the equivalent of death time and time again. I can't stand for this anymore. This poor child should never have to suffer death again. This has gone on far too long. We've received word that the most terrible of all Titana Machina, the Vandergand, now has us in its sights. This will surely be Jill's last deployment, but be that as it may, I will not allow the boy to suffer the Soul Cannon again. I should be the one to suffer for all of this, for all the pain I have imposed on these children. So here, in the very end, I will bear this burden. If we lose here today, it can only mean that God has seen fit to punish us for our sins. Jean may suffer from what I am about to do, but if such is so, at least Jean, Jill, and myself will all leave this world together. Perhaps it is even better that way. I guess humanity finally found equality, just in total annihilation at the hands of Juno. I really risked it hedging my bets on how far the damage would spread, but it looks like I made the right choice, huh? All my prep out here in this dark, frozen wasteland finally paid off. Now I get to take back everything that was stolen from me.
Omae 大きくなったな、マルト。メイも元気そうだな。兄さん、俺が知っていた通りだ。何年も前。
目を覚ましたマルトが見たのは絶望の光景だった。突然の開戦、そして仲間たちの死。
これが僕らの守ってきた未来だなんて。
あの子は分身の生まれ変わりなんだよ。
あと98回だけ残った。
私はもう私だけじゃない。
ここにはある王の国があったんだ。
この力の流れは
仕組まれていたのかい。
英雄を生み出すために存在する村だった。
まだ生きている。
やり直そう。やり直しだ。もう一度。
敗北が確定した運命のフラグ。タラニスに残されていたシークレットオーダー。
これってメイのせいなんだよね。
あいつほど自分たちの可能性を信じている者はいなかった。
さあ帰ろう。僕の世界を救うんだ。
全てを失ったマルトが選んだたった一つの答えとは。
これは僕が世界を裏切る物語だ。